Hey squad, good morning. We're gonna do trial 3 of this game today, or at least as much of it as I can get through in 2 hours, because I can't do much longer than that today. Let's see who's in the chat. I see Dark Morford, Phoenix Melior, Anti-Crepuscular, Eric, M-Drift, hey, you made it, Caristonia, MTV CDM, Undertoast, you have made it in time. That is everybody. Alright, so, yes, this case is weird. Agreed. Hey, Lady Lay, thank you for resubscribing for the 9th month. Caught on all the VODs and caught this one live. Ooh, and you have blue hair. Excellent. These are all great things. Yeah, I was looking through, I was trying to think about who I thought did it, and I realized that I'm just actually not sure. I have some suspicions who I don't think did it, but I feel like I'm missing information. So, we're moving forward, we'll figure it out. I'm torn. I actually think Sonia maybe. Who was the other one that I was like, possibly this person? Right, I don't think I bought any new skills, so that's fine. Yeah, I think Meekin was my other thought.
Now then, let's begin
with
a simple explanation of the class trial.
Sonia, I think it possibly could be because she was the one who was like, hey, you should go to look at this rumor. Meekin, is also pretty high on that suspect list. But I don't know. I'm just not sure. The only one that I'm like pretty sure it isn't is Gundam, because I don't think he would have bothered helping me get that slip of paper off the wall, because that's going to be crucial to how they hid Hyoko's body. Absolutely. But I have no idea.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is, and vote for who done it. If you vote correct, I'll punish everyone. Oh well, who cares about this boring...
That's right.
I don't mind starting the trial, but I don't really have a grasp of how the case played out.
Yeah, neither do I.
You know, because I was asleep the whole time.
Right, that's not suspicious at all. Except I feel like Nagito's gonna make it to the end of the game. Just because I don't... Because...
Even if you do grasp it, you're just gonna confuse the heck out of us, aren't you?
Soda's also a possibility, but I couldn't really totally line up how... The problem is I can't figure out why. Like, I know the whole motive is, oh, we'll get off the island, but I don't feel like that's going to be anyone's actual motive in this case, and I'm not really sure how the motive of the sickness works into this.
But Nagito's not alone. I don't really get it either.
You're fine. Your head's empty anyway.
Empty head? Huh. What's wrong with that? Listen up! The emptier your head, the more dreams you can stuff inside it, you know?
Sure.
Anyway,
No, let her
we
have
shouldn't
that.
proceed with the trial if those two can't participate in the arguments. Since he's the first witness, why don't we ask Hajime to explain the incident and the sequence of events?
In fairness to this case, the motive of this case doesn't make a lot of sense as far as Hyoko is concerned. Huh.
Then, let's start with when we split into the hospital team and motel team because of the despair disease. The hospital team consisted of Nagito, Ibuki, and Akane, who were infected, and Mikan, Fuyuhiko, and me.
The other 5 in the motel team were myself, Gundam, Kazuichi, Chiaki, and Hyoko.
Spending the night at the hospital was prohibited, so Hajime and I had to sleep at our cottages.
And I really don't want to believe that it's Fuyuhiko at all, just because I'm hoping that, oh, he wants to do whatever, but you know, I just can't. I can't decide right now. Hey, Thirsty Kitty.
I woke up at my cottage on the day the incident happened. Mikan came by to wake me up and told me that Nagito had recovered from his symptoms.
Yeah, this is actually the reason why I suspect Mikan a bit, is because those black curtains obviously came from the hospital, and only so many people had access to the hospital. Which is why I'm like, oh, maybe it wasn't Sonia. Except, I don't know.
We immediately headed over to the hospital, and after we confirmed his recovery, I made Mikan rest in the on-call room, since she hadn't slept all night, while I waited in the hospital lobby. And then, I saw the incoming signal light on the surveillance camera blinking before our scheduled time. When I pressed the button to turn on the monitor, what appeared on screen was a video of someone wearing a hospital gown and a hemp bag on their head, climbing a stepladder.
Amazing! That's such a heart-pounding story! And then what did you do, Hajime?
I tried to stop them, of course. I rushed out of the hospital and ran to where the video was being recorded, the music venue. But it was too late.
Wait a minute. No. That video wasn't from the hospital, was it? No, I mean, that video came from inside. Maybe that video was from the hospital. Stop doing this game! Stop making me...
By the time I arrived, the person wearing the hemp bag on their head was already hanging from the ceiling. I thought I should tell the others right away, so I headed to the motel.
Why the motel?
Because it was close to the music venue, and unlike the hospital, there were more able-bodied people there. At least, that's what I thought, but the only person who came with me was Chiaki.
Sure it was. It was found in the typhoon place, but if it's Soda, it doesn't mean Soda couldn't have done something.
But I remember feeling a little relieved because not long after, we met up with Mikan and Fuyuhiko.
We were also looking for Ibuki since she disappeared from our site.
After I rested for a bit, I started counting everyone at the hospital. And then I noticed Ibuki was gone. So I sprinted out of the hospital. Coincidentally, I ran into Fuyuhiko. So I fled with him in various ways to see if he could help me out.
Various ways?
Don't say it like that and confuse people.
After I heard from those two that Ibuki disappeared, I had a feeling she was the person wearing the hemp bag.
Yeah, the surveillance cameras can't record, and what was the other thing that was weird? There's just a lot of weird things about this
So
case.
I immediately led them to the music venue.
But the door wouldn't open. Since we had
Right.
no other option, the four of us broke down the
whole
door.
idea with the door being locked. It's gonna be super convoluted. It's gonna be
And when that
awesome.
happened, we didn't just find Ibuki's body. We also found Hyoko's. And not just that. Her body was taped to a pillar.
That's when we heard the body discovery announcement. Not once, but twice in a row.
And so we decided to lower the hanged body, didn't we?
When we removed the hemp bag, just as we feared, it was Ibuki.
So that's how the case played out. Thank you. I understood it very easily.
Well, it's clear what the problem with this case is. When Hajime left the music venue, who...
Wait, how do I know anything Hajime just said is true?
It's true. How do you? Huh? People suspect me, main character, again?
Sorry, I'm only being impartial right now. And the story I just heard is clearly suspicious. Hajime, if you're the only one who saw the hanging video, and the first one to discover Ibuki's body, then you could be lying as much as you want right now, right?
Lie? Why would I lie?
I mean, dude, if we did it, then of course we'd lie. I mean, we're not liars, we're main character.
Obviously. so you could make us ignore what might be an inconvenient truth for you.
Do you doubt me?
If you're not lying, I would like you to prove it. Come on, try to prove it to me. Prove you're not the killer.
It's just as Soda said, Nagito's the kind of guy who'll just confuse us and make matters worse. Damn it, I shouldn't have explained it to Nagito. I'm in trouble now thanks to that. Ah, it'll be the movie invitation ticket.
Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
If Hajime's testimony is a lie, then the fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be a lie.
I don't think I can deny that possibility. After all, Hajime's the only witness.
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously, because he's the killer.
Did Hajime kill both of them?
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie means it probably is Hajime's fault. Hajime's testimony.
That would also be. I don't think I can deny. After all, why would Hajime? Well, obviously, because Hajime killed
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie. No, that's wrong. I'm not the killer. I mean, there's no way I'd be able to imitate that movie. Of course you're not. I already knew that.
I'm just doing this for shits and giggles.
Huh?
Before the incident, Hajime had never watched that movie. His invitation ticket is proof of that.
That's why he told us to keep it. So that he could defend himself in court.
Each person only received one ticket, and they're marked with a stamp that shows the date and time.
Which means I want to see everybody whose stamps is before the murders.
Isn't that right, Monokuma?
That will help us list down which characters totally didn't do it.
Yes, no mistakes there.
Which means there's no way Hajime, who never saw the movie, could commit murders that imitated it. Or did anyone tell him what happens in the movie? Of course no one did, right?
Hold on a sec! You're the one who brought this up in the first place!
Nagito, what are you doing?
Well, since we're opening with your witness testimony, I thought we should solidify the foundation. It also provides a good warm-up.
Oh, shut up, you butt.
What warm-up? This isn't a game, you know.
Oh, if only you knew.
Don't get mad. I just think warming up is really important. Especially since this isn't a game.
What a waste of time. Well, I knew it would turn out like this anyway.
Now then, since we know Hajime's testimony is reliable, let us move on to the arguments.
So this means Ibuki definitely climbed the stepladder all by herself, right?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Then that seals it! Ibuki committed suicide!
If Ibuki committed suicide, then who killed Hiyoko?
A murder coincidentally occurring in the same place as a suicide ain't possible, huh?
See, I suspect at some point in this case we're gonna get the, oh no, Ibuki. No, wait. Yes, because we're gonna prove that the bodies went in a different order, and somehow it'll be like, oh well, then Ibuki clearly killed Hiyoko, and then in her whatever state was like, oh no, and then committed suicide, and that won't be true.
Like I said before, it's pretty clear what the problem with this case is. The killer murdered Hiyoko while Hajime was gone. So all we gotta do is establish who could have possibly done that.
Then let's ask Hajime. How long would you say you were away from the music venue?
I couldn't have been gone for more than 10 minutes.
So they killed Hiyoko and taped her up within 10 minutes? There's no way that's possible.
Yeah, I don't really miss Hiyoko. I do feel a bit bad because I was enjoying how much she really did cherish Maharu.
That's
So
why the
that
killer
sucks.
stalled for time by making the music venue a closed room.
What do you mean, a closed room?
the killer blocked the venue door from the inside to try and keep us from entering right away.
However, that door is the only entrance to the music venue, right? If they blocked the door from the inside, the killer would not have been able to leave either.
That's also something we have to establish, whether or not the killer was able to leave or not, because if they were, then it's clearly a, oh, I was with you at the entrance helping you knock it down. But if they weren't, then, oh, they were clearly hiding, and it couldn't have been any of the people at the entrance.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Which means, when we broke down the venue door, the killer was still inside.
They were?
If that's the case, the only suspicious people are those who don't have an alibi for that time. And that's you two, Sonia and Kazuichi.
Me too?
What the hell? Why's it gotta be us?
The others all have alibis. Chiaki, Mikan, Hajime, and I all broke down the venue door together. Gundam met up with Hajime at the motel right before that. And if Akane and Nagito were laid up in the hospital, the only person that leaves is one of you.
There's another person who doesn't have an alibi. You know, Nekomaru. Me too!
Hey, why are you talking like... Huh? You're kidding, right? You're not up to something weird, are you?
Please stop making that joke.
Anyway, if the killer was hiding inside the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis.
I mean, he's not wrong.
What a wicked way of backing us into a wall! Is this his professional skill?
Killer was inside the music venue. Fuhiko obviously thinks so, but... Is that really it? Right, that weird semi-transparent glob.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
So they looked like they had just rushed over.
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had
The lock was on the floor and
Are you talking about the broken door?
you can use that as a bolt by doing that. The killer waited till we gathered and suddenly appeared.
So they look like they had... I have seen this in serial
Crime dramas.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside. No, that's wrong.
Hold on a sec. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside.
From the outside? How?
They broke a drumstick on the inside to make it look like that was what happened.
There was a semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe that's what they used.
They wanted people to think that the killer had to have been inside.
Semi-transparent glob. Like rubber, maybe?
It wasn't rubber at all. Semi-transparent glob was... blue?
I see! That semi-transparent glob must have been glue.
Glue?
Yeah, I think so too. It had a firm, gel-like chewiness, and I could smell workshop chemicals the moment I put it in my mouth. Based on all that,
I'm certain it was glue.
I didn't know glue was edible.
No, Akane, please, don't.
I believe it is not something one typically eats.
That glue was only applied to the areas where both doors touched. By pouring it in the gaps of the closed door, it must have sealed the venue door from the outside.
And thanks to that, a glob of glue was left where the door was stuck. Yep, it fits perfectly.
But
Hey, Caffeinated
if
Kitty.
you just stick them together with glue, you'd be able to break down the door easily, you know?
That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside.
What'd you say?
First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so? It was so obvious that it makes more sense to think the killer placed it as a diversion.
Are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose? Then I totally fell for that fucking trap.
Apologize to Miss Sonia and me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time.
In a quarrel, both sides are to blame. That's why it's better to just have no sides at all.
So, during the 10 minutes Hajime left the venue, the killer murdered Hiyoko and created a closed space?
No.
And they also taped her up after killing her, right?
Even quick work has limits.
Oh, what unimaginable speed for a slowpoke like me.
If they couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue, they must have done it earlier than that.
Earlier?
But when Hajime got to the venue, only Ibuki's body was there, right?
And when you went back with everyone else, Hiyoko's body was there too, right? But it's possible that the body was just revealed at that time, when Hiyoko was actually killed earlier.
Just revealed?
Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too. Here, I have proof.
That scrap of paper. Is that what we found in the baton lighting at the music venue?
That's right, but just what is this scrap anyway?
Oh, come on, Nagito. If you know, just say it. That scrap was stuck on the baton lighting in the music venue. Now I should be able to figure out what it is. I want to work wallpaper. Nope, needed that. Oh, I can use my focus bar to use my cabinet. Oh man, that's really useful information. Thank you.
In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper that's the same color as that scrap. There was also a tear along the edge of the wallpaper, wasn't there?
You're right. If you overlay the scrap that was caught on the lighting, the tear in the wallpaper, see? It fits perfectly.
I see. So the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was originally part of the wallpaper.
And what's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Hyoko's body disappearing?
A mere nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that.
Shut up.
But if you guys were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, you can figure this out easily.
Huh. That sounds pretty interesting, G-Dwarf. A scrap of paper stuck to the baton lighting was part of that wallpaper I found in the storage room. Is it connected to the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body? If I trace it back to there, the answer should become clear. This is how I avoid doing Hangman's Gathers. Twice. Alright, let's give this a try. Oh right, logic dive. Jump. Ah! Do not hit things, do not hit things. I'm not so good at the jumping. Question 1. Why did Hyoko's plan create concern? It's hidden. Oh, I thought that was a ramp, and it was not. What did the killer use to hide her body? How did the wallpaper? Yay, survived.
It's all coming together. I got it. Hyoko's body was hidden before we found it.
But it would have taken quite a long time to tape up a hidden body.
No, the body was already taped up and the killer hid it, along with the pillar using the wallpaper.
What? They hid the pillar?
Yeah, by wrapping the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar. So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, however, because it was concealed within a slightly larger pillar, I didn't realize that at the time.
Hey, Splatty, thanks for the cheer.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, it makes sense that you'd notice Ibuki's body right away.
So they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper?
Ah, okay. Okay, that makes a lot more sense than I was thinking. But yeah, same idea.
The baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar, so using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits.
Then, the reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers is to make it look like that pillar.
That's how they hid Hyoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music room.
But the killer made a mistake. They accidentally ripped off a piece of the wallpaper. And because of that, a scrap was left on the baton lighting.
The killer must have been in a hurry. If their plan took too long, Hajime could have walked in on them.
But going to the trouble of hiding the body and the pillar is very bold and risky.
But the crime itself would be much easier to pull off since they don't have much to do while Hajime's gone. They just have to peel off that wallpaper and stash it in the storage room. It's not that big of a deal.
Then, when was Hyoko actually killed?
Good point. And on that note, it's about time we shed some light on those imitation murders.
You mentioned imitation murder more than once. But what is that?
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen my masterpiece? The Wizard of Monami 2.5D?
Hey! Don't put my likeness in your movies without my permission.
You're pretty noisy for someone who eats mothballs.
I don't eat mothballs. I just enjoy looking at them. I knew it. There are so many similarities. It must have been intentional.
Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death from the movie. Not just that, but Hyoko getting taped up after her death matches the lion's death.
It's as if both crimes were replicas of scenes from the movie, although the mutilated Tin Man was omitted.
But why did the killer go to all this trouble in the first place?
Based on what we know, the reason the killer chose these imitations isn't that difficult to figure out.
Crap!
Oh, yeah, I guess it would be.
I see!
The reason the killer imitated two of the murders from the movie was so he'd mix up the killing order.
Then, Hyoko was actually killed before Ibuki?
A valid line of reasoning.
Yeah, it's valid. The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well.
What do you mean? If you're going to cry and beg like that, then I guess I'll hear about the condition of Ibuki's body.
I'm not even crying.
I'll let you sob as much as you want later. Just hurry up and tell me before I change my mind.
What a jerk!
Jerk!
Oh, I see. You want me to explain it to you, right? Because you don't understand what I'm saying, right?
An even bigger jerk? Impossible!
Look, Ibuki died because she hanged herself, right? That means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor.
What's wrong with that?
But it seems Ibuki was still standing when Hyoko was killed. That would mean Hyoko was killed before Ibuki.
How light. Your words are so light as the sylph's feather. Your opponent is out of your league. It is too absurd to try to perplex me so inadequately.
Man, he's being annoying again.
First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the floor when Hyoko was killed. How can a low-class creature with no psychic abilities like you know something like that?
Oh, Gundam.
Because she was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor.
It seems you suffer from a pathetic delusion.
You're one to talk.
Anyway, if this continues, we're just gonna talk in circles. I think it's best if we clarify Ibuki's status when Hiyoko was killed. Yep. Now, where does it go?
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
I am telling you to present your evidence.
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
I agree with that. Just as Sonia said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. There were faint blood stains on the soles of her slippers.
That is not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries.
Then it's Hiyoko's blood.
Hyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck. And she died almost instantly, right?
If Ibuki stepped on her blood...
It means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded. Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact moment Hiyoko was killed.
Don't underestimate the power of the
hello.
evil eye!
Okay.
Is that it? A shepherd dressed in his Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hajime Hinata.
Can I save here? Perfect. I was so surprised by who decides to interject now.
Does that mean you have a rebuttal?
Does that mean you have a rebuttal? That's a good line. But, are you sure you're sure? If I show you how serious I am, this world might be destroyed, you know. You're so frightened you can't even make a sound. It seems you've realized our difference in status. However, the time for conviction starts now. You better entertain me to the fullest. You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no... You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about... See a nice nightmare? You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor.
Allow me to cut through those words! That's not it. The reason there was no blood on the floor is because the killer wiped it away afterward.
Don't say such foolish things! You don't have proof of that at all!
Yes, I do. If you look closely, there's a streak on the floor where blood was wiped away.
When the killer tried to hide Hyoko's body, they probably cleaned the blood at the same time, but Ibuki must have already stepped in it, and the killer probably didn't even realize it.
The reason they wiped off the blood on the floor was so we'd mix up the order of the murders, right? Even if they're able to hide Hyoko's body, it'd be bad if her blood was left out in the open.
Plus, Ibuki's body was left out in the open, and it wasn't bleeding from any open wounds at all.
Hyoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding.
Actually, the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating. So I don't think they had to go that far.
Aside from Mikon, none of us were aware of that fact, so the killer probably did not know it either.
Maybe that heater was running inside the music venue so it would screw with Mikon's autopsy?
That's right! I didn't know the time of death because of the heater!
The time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yep. Since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object, right? Then it's decided. Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki.
It appears that it is wiser to retreat for now. Fine then. But regardless of good or evil, there's no deceit in upholding one's convictions.
Can minute to just shut up and back off?
Now then, let us resume our debate.
Wait a sec. There's something I want to run by Monokuma first.
Huh? Again? Didn't something like this happen last time, too?
Yeah, but it worked out in our favor. So don't protest it until he ends up being a jerk, and then we can call him a jerk.
Hey, if the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do?
Huh? Suicide?
The same as always. You have to vote for who the killer is. Think about it. A suicide means you've killed the most important existence of all, yourself. Unfortunately, that means there's no Blacken to punish, but I guess in a pinch, I can always punish Monami.
Why me?
Nagito, what do you mean? If the victim actually committed suicide?
Well, I mean, I understand Hyoko's death, but I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Hyoko, and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right?
But then she would have known that she stepped in the blood, probably. So I don't think that's quite right.
That's totally impossible! Then she never would have killed her to begin with!
She was afflicted by the despair disease, remember? That means anything can happen.
But if Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right?
There's also that.
After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body soon after means the killer had to be alive at that time.
Then she was alive! When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead. If she waited until Hajime left, that's when she could have made her move and mess with the crime scene.
She hanged herself, remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that.
And if she was going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chosen hanging. Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined her plan.
I see. So that means... there's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free to search for the killer.
What the heck?
There's still one more issue on my mind. If Ibuki didn't commit suicide, then just what was that video Hajime saw?
Huh?
According to that video you saw, Ibuki was by herself when she climbed the stepladder, right? Then does that mean someone forced her to do it?
So why I'm suggesting the video was maybe done up in, like, the hospital room where everything was dark, and they maybe just, like, left a candle, is that there's... Monokuma suggested that there were actually 2 hemp eggs. Only one person would get both. Doesn't mean they did it that way, but...
Forced? Perhaps they used hypnotism or something?
I don't know anything about that.
Don't say it all proud.
Putting that aside, it seems obvious that the killer did something.
And there was an extra hospital robe, because there's 4 rooms, each room's supposed to get one, and that hospital robe was missing.
So, maybe we should figure out who was able to do whatever that was.
So, an alibi. Then our plan is to destroy the weakest alibi. Since Hajime has seen the video, it is clear what time the crime took place.
But just to be sure, that surveillance camera doesn't have a record function, right?
It's a cheap-ass surveillance camera, you know? There's no way it'd have some kind of sweet recording feature.
Then, the video Hajime saw was actually live?
What time did Hajime see that video?
I saw it at the hospital, right before Monokuma's morning announcement. And I saw the body at the music venue a little after Monokuma's announcement.
So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's announcement. And since we established that Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki, that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Then we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time?
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence.
We can exclude...
Right up until the Monokuma announcement morning, Mikun was with Hajime. She went to hospital.
The sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement,
Sonya's account. That doesn't seem right.
I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed.
Yeah, I am stuck. We're looking for the person who doesn't have an alibi. I feel like the truth bullet I need to use is one of the accounts. Two people do have an alibi. Okay. So I guess it would either be Mikan or Fuiko. Probably Mikan.
We can exclude the sick people like
me and Connie. And what about the other?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel is...
So everyone who stayed at the motel...
What about you guys? I was wrong.
I was supposed to be my own...
That's not an
alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an
Alibi, then... No, that's wrong! Hold on. Not all of us are missing an alibi. In fact, Mikan and I both have alibis.
Oh, right. I constantly forget that I also have to defend myself in this game.
You two have alibis?
Main character syndrome and all that.
Up until I saw that hanging video, Mikan and I were actually together for a while.
We even woke up together that morning.
Hey, what kind of situation is that?
I asked...
Too much info.
Yeah, it's not like that. She just came to tell me Nagato's condition had improved.
And we went to the hospital together afterward. So we were together until right before the announcement.
Yeah, but then you split up. I don't know. It's so convenient.
I get it. You guys have alibis.
Yeah, and that's what makes this too convenient.
If that's the case, the killer must be someone else.
It's better if we think about it like that. The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway.
So it's inevitable that an alibi for both before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
It feels like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
But committing an imitation murder, is that really all it was?
Huh?
Faking the time the crime occurred by falsifying the murder sequence, hiding their alibi in the process? Was that the only reason the killer made both bodies imitate the movie?
Are you saying there was another reason?
I feel really bad for confusing you guys so much, but that's how I feel. I think the killer had a completely different reason for falsifying the murder sequence.
Killer had a different reason. If that's the case, are we still in the killer's trap? Inside a trap set by one of us? If so, then whose and what kind of trap is it? Ooh.
Hiya!
Why, hello there, mon ami. The moss balls sure look tasty today.
Stop it!
Stop it! Don't characterize me as someone who lives off moss balls. And here comes chance time. What's that? Now then, Monami's appeal time starts now. Huh? Appeal time? Your kind-hearted big brother is gonna give you the chance to reclaim your honor. Good luck. Show those jerks who treat you like a red-headed stepchild who's boss. That's 99% your fault. While you were whining, your time's already running out, so please make your appeal simple. About 30,000 words or so. That's too long. It'll just be a boring appeal. Come on, if your appeal is successful, there might be merchandise opportunities heading your way. Then, I'm Isami, miracle girl Isami. I'm an itty-bitty girl who's sweet like milk. Jeez, and I thought a certain robot's little sister was supposed to be the best.
What a disappointment!
What are you talking about? I have no clue whatsoever. Save. Resume.
I'm Monami. Once again, I've been put in such an unreasonable situation. Seriously, he's like the king of unreasonableness. Why did it turn out like this? We were supposed to have a fun, friendly school trip, but it turned out all bloody instead. No! This definitely cannot be allowed. That's why I want you to remember this. everyone, do your very best. Don't lose to yourself. And don't forget to save frequently.
The reason the killer did an imitation murder is a reason other than falsifying the murder sequence. Does something like that even exist?
Huh. It suddenly got quiet in here. Did I confuse you? If so, I wish I could die from self-loathing.
Maybe they killed Hiyoko first, and then Ibuki showed up and saw it, so they had to get rid of the witness.
Man, this again.
If that's the case, it would have been just dandy if they had gone ahead and killed me too. If that happened, the imitation would have been perfect. So why didn't they do that?
Well, it's against the rules to kill 3 people in the first place.
Ah, but we didn't know that until after the killings.
That rule is too harsh. I couldn't get killed because of that.
Seriously, just shut up already! Shut up forever!
Oh, Soda. I also think the same thing of you sometimes.
But I'm thinking about it again, and he's totally right. It feels incomplete.
Because they didn't kill 3 people like the movie did? That's only because of Monokuma's rule.
It's not just that. Come on, try to remember the content of the movie. About the lion that got killed second.
That's the one Hiyoko's body was imitating, right?
Even though we're calling it an imitation, the lion was actually pinned by arrows, right? But Hiyoko's body was suspended by common household duct tape.
Maybe they just used a common substitute because it was too difficult to imitate the arrows.
No, you probably get arrows from the supermarket.
Well, that's probably it, but that attitude is what makes this feel incomplete. If falsifying the murder sequence was the killer's plan from the very beginning, they should have taken steps to properly imitate it.
But if we never realized it was a half-assed imitation, their entire plan would have been completely useless.
What are you trying to say? Are you saying the imitation wasn't planned?
I'm saying Hiyoko's murder wasn't.
Oh, right. She went there. Okay, so Hiyoko ended up going there to check the mirror. But the murderer didn't know she was gonna do that.
What?
Hiyoko's murder wasn't planned?
I understand that imitation wasn't enough, but aren't you making a bunch of assumptions?
It's not just the poor imitation. There are also other strange details.
Strange details? Like what?
Like, for example, why did Hiyoko go to the music venue?
Oh, I know that one.
So, you're saying the truth behind Hiyoko's murder is hidden?
I have no freaking clue what you're trying to say.
However, this is getting quite interesting. My 4 dark devas of destruction are getting riled up.
Oh, Gundam, never change. Why Hiyoko went to the music venue? If that's the key to all this, I need to find that out, no matter the cost. Dude, we know. We have that info. That would have been...
Why did Hiyoko go to the music venue?
I thought for sure they'd give us Sonya's account, though. Where is...
There's no way we'd know that!
Maybe the killer summoned her.
If that's not it, maybe she got abducted by the killer. No, maybe she went of her own free will.
I agree with that. It's just as Sonya said. She went to the music venue of her own free will.
So, exactly as I assumed.
If no one called for her, then why did she go?
Yoko locked herself in her room because she was being overly cautious of the despair disease, you know? I don't think a person like that would leave their room just because someone called for them.
There's no way she got abducted?
Kyoko locked the room she was staying in before she went out.
If she was forcibly taken from her room, there's no way she would have had time to lock it.
The killer could have locked her door, right? Just to hide the fact Hiyoko got abducted.
Then they couldn't have hidden her room key that deep in her kimono. They would have put it somewhere more obvious. Otherwise, there's no point in messing with the crime scene if nobody finds the key. At the time, you were the one who actually took out the key, right? Then something like that...
I won't lose!
Oh, acne.
Are you saying my gut was wrong?
I'm saying you're being annoying.
This could be my first and last highlight of the day. Why won't you just let me shine already?
No! That's not the issue.
Shut up! Enough with your fancy talk.
There it is.
Hiyoko was locked inside her room, right? She definitely got abducted or something.
The killer forced their way into Hiyoko's room.
Forcibly abducted her!
The girl is so small and weak-looking.
And that's why the killer targeted her.
I can't back down! But Hiyoko's room was locked. The key was deep inside her kimono, remember? It's more likely that Hiyoko locked the door herself.
The killer was the one who locked the door. So what if the key was in her kimono? Maybe the killer just put it there later.
I can't back down! There's no reason for the killer to put the key in Hiyoko's kimono. The killer probably didn't realize she even had the key.
Hold on! Try remembering Hiyoko's body. Her kimono was all messed up.
Oh,
Crap.
Nope, that was true.
Hold on! Try remembering Hiyoko's body. Her kimono... There's only one reason her kimono would be that messed up. She fought the killer!
Allow me to cut through those words! The reason Hiyoko's kimono was messed up was because she wasn't able to properly wear it.
Wear her kimono?
Yeah, it's also the reason why she decided to go out on her own.
Yoko seemed to be really struggling with wearing her kimono. I believe that was one of the reasons she locked herself in her room. That is why I informed her. I told her that there was a full-length mirror at the music venue, and I suggested that she use it.
Then, the reason her kimono was messed up wasn't because she fought the killer.
Yeah, she went to the venue on her own just to fix her messed up kimono.
Yeah. She fought the killer, and somehow her bow came to the front.
I get it. I lost. Boil me, burn me, take off my clothes. Do whatever you want to me.
How about... no.
Hajime, now's your chance. Make her admit defeat.
Not talking to you.
Then, the killer probably couldn't have assumed that Hiyoko would go to the music venue.
Though that may not apply to Sonia, since she provided Hiyoko with that information.
Though I knew she would go there, there is no way I could have predicted when she would arrive.
Don't go doubting Miss Sonia, you cretin. I'll put you and your hamsters 6 feet under.
Kazuichi, it seems you have quite the fashion sense. Do you want me to incinerate your clothes? Perhaps I could do that while you're wearing them.
Gundam, please stop! For his sake!
Huh? What do you mean, for my sake?
Of course. I've already overlooked no less than 10 opportunities to kill you.
Even if the killer couldn't predict it, why did Hiyoko get killed in the music venue?
The only thing I can think of is, It was an unfortunate coincidence.
Coincidence?
When she went to the venue by herself, she was probably just unlucky and walked in on the crime scene.
She was killed so there wouldn't be any loose ends?
It probably happened when the killer was preparing to kill Ibuki. The killer most likely had already placed the hemp bag over her head, and without hesitation,
killed Hiyoko.
Because the killer used that coincidence for their crime, it made this case even trickier.
That's the reason they imitated the movie to falsify the murder sequence.
Which means that low-down scoundrel didn't plan on committing imitation murders at first.
Then what was the killer actually planning to do? They've been cunning this far. There's no way they'd kill Ibuki without a plan.
Do you have any ideas?
Damn, you don't know the most important part.
Killer's plan from the beginning. I'm pretty sure we're very, very close.
Hey Nagito, any ideas?
No, why are we talking to him?
Hey, how long are you gonna stay quiet?
Oh, am I allowed to speak?
No.
I'm so happy I'm getting goosebumps. Everyone actually needs help from scum like me.
Why did you have to talk to him?
So what do you think?
Fine.
I was thinking about it while I had my mouth shut. But now I'm finally able to come to a conclusion. Ibuki definitely didn't commit suicide.
Well, I'm glad you got there.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I thought there might be a possibility that she faked her death and tampered with the crime scene. But now I remember. There was blood on Ibuki's slippers.
Didn't we get there already? Are you okay, Nagito?
So if she faked her death and walked around the music venue tampering with the crime scene, there'd be bloody footprints left in various places throughout the venue. So that's why I think there's no way she faked her death. There's no way Ibuki committed suicide.
You know, we already finished talking about that a while ago.
Huh? Really? That's annoying. I guess I should just awkwardly laugh about it then.
Are you freaking kidding me? There's no limit to how useless you can be.
I like Fuyiko. No, wait a minute. If Ibuki had blood on her feet, there'd be footprints all over the place if she kept walking around.
That's strange. That's very strange.
This is strange? What's strange?
I see. It's not something we finished talking about. Those footprints. There's still an important clue left that we've completely overlooked. Just as Nagito said, if she had blood on her feet, she would have left footprints. Then why weren't there any footprints on the stepladder?
I can prove it with this! If Ibuki used the stepladder to hang herself, it's strange that there weren't any footprints on it.
Huh? There weren't?
Yeah, that stepladder was completely clean. No footprints or bloodstains at all.
You noticed such a small detail! How amazing! This is truly the talent of a chosen ultimate!
What are you talking about? You were obviously leading us to this. That's why you brought up the suicide topic after all this time. Nagito, definitely someone I shouldn't underestimate.
But didn't you say you saw that video of Ibuki climbing the stepladder? Then I think there's no doubt that she really did climb it.
Unless there was something funny about that video.
I see. So there was some kind of trick arranged in that video.
The ultimate nitpicker.
But that's something only Hajime would know, since he's the only one who saw that video.
So, just as I thought, it comes down to that. The mystery surrounding this incident is contained in that video. And whether or not we can reach that hidden truth, it's all up to me.
Hajime, I leave it in your hands.
Okay. Oops, not the map.
As long as I leave this to you, I won't tell you to do your best, but oh well. You should get started already.
Yeah, I'll definitely try.
There was some hidden clue in that video. I should have seen something strange as I watched it. I'm the only one who can clear that up. I'm the only one who actually saw that video. So I'm the only one who can do it. Any video that I saw, based on everything we know about the debates thus far, I should be able to figure out what's strange. It's gonna be the lack of blood, I think, on...
Here!
That's right, I remember now. There was definitely something strange about that video.
Can you explain it to us?
What's strange is that stepladder I mentioned earlier. It's true that the steps of that stepladder weren't dirty, but on one side, there was a bloodstain, right on the left side of the stepladder. However, that contradicts the video I saw at the hospital. There weren't any bloodstains on the stepladder in the video. It was completely clean.
That is truly strange. If the video showed the moment of Ibuki's death, then Hiyoko should have already been dead by that point.
Even so, the fact is the stepladder had blood on it at the actual crime scene. The stepladder in the video was completely bloodless.
And there's no way the video was recorded in advance. If that's the case, the only thing I can think of is...
It's possible those two stepladders were completely different.
Wait, are you saying there were two stepladders?
But where would you find another stepladder? There was only one stepladder in the music venue.
Then one of the stepladders was somewhere other than the music venue.
What do you mean?
I'm still going with Mikan at this
You're
point.
suggesting that the stepladder in the video isn't the only thing that's different. Am I right? That's amazing, Chiaki! All that gaming has given you incredible deduction skills. Is it okay to say that?
What are you two talking about?
Watching chat yell two stepladders, who could have two stepladders, is really funny. Stepladder isn't the only thing that's different, huh? Chiaki said the stepladder was at a different place, but if that's the case, the thing that's different between that video and the actual scene of the crime is that thing, the place where the killer did something. Alright. Oh, wow. That's a lot. Well, nope, okay. Not a G. Oh, okay. No, I know what it is now. I just needed a second. There we are. Location.
That's right. Besides the stepladder, the filming location must have been different too.
I didn't know what word they wanted, so I was just like, this one, filming. Okay, cool. I don't know what the other word is.
What do you mean?
I mean, the video I saw was not filmed at the music venue. It was filmed somewhere else.
But the hospital monitor is supposed to display footage captured by the music venue camera, you know?
Then, there's a possibility that the killer also tampered with the surveillance camera unit.
In order to show us that they filmed the video at the music venue instead of somewhere else, what did the killer do to that surveillance camera unit? Yeah, more logic dive. But, oops. Which part of the surveillance camera unit did the killer tamper with? Camera. Blah. What they did was they smashed the unit so we wouldn't know that it wasn't the actual unit that had been used. It's also why they had to do this before the announcement. Did the killer tamper with the camera at the music venue or the hospital? Music venue.
It's all coming together. That's it. The killer just brought the camera from the music video. With it, they made me think it was a live feed from the venue, when it was actually from somewhere else.
Then only the monitor was left in the music venue?
Yes, at least when I first discovered Ibuki's body. But when Hyoko's body appeared, the killer probably put the camera back too.
That means you should have realized that from the start and made this easier on all of us.
Right. I'll take better notes next time I get shocked by finding a dead body hanging from the rafters.
He did discover the body. I doubt his attention was focused on the camera.
Well, that's true, but in order to hide that the camera was missing, the killer did one more thing to the remaining monitor.
The thing the killer did to the remaining water was destroyed it.
I see! The killer smashed the monitor to pieces, destroying it. As long as it was in pieces, you wouldn't be able to tell if the camera was actually there or not. My attention was so focused on the body that even I couldn't have noticed something like that.
And the moment Hajime left the music venue, the killer put back the camera they took.
And they destroyed it and left that in pieces as well.
It's easy to say it was filmed somewhere else, but the surveillance camera's connection wasn't that strong.
Despite Kazuichi's desperate repair efforts, it seems it could not transmit from the hospital to the motel.
The fact that it was able to connect between the hospital and the music venue is amazing enough.
Which means even if it was filmed in another place, as long as it was transmitting to the hospital, the range would be pretty limited. If that's the case, where was the video filmed to make it look like it was filmed at the music venue? The only possibility is that place inside that building. Well, I'm glad we're being descriptive about it. You know, that place in that building that people go to and use. Really? Ugh. Okay, it's gonna be the conference room. Give me an N, thank you. No, I needed that. Why did I? Okay, come on, that wasn't even remotely fair.
Got it! It's possible that it was filmed at the hospital's conference room.
Huh? Conference room?
But the hospital and the music venue look completely different.
Hey, thanks, LunarJade.
That's exactly why the killer did something to make those two places resemble each other.
To make the conference room look like the music venue, the killer went ahead and did some work. I've got to make clear what that work was.
There's no way the conference room and the music venue look the same.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue? Or did the music venue look like the conference room?
Or did they make some kind of set?
Set? Might have tampered with the camera.
No, that's wrong.
I still can't believe he mixed up the filming locations. Hajime, you're pretty stupid.
Okay, I think I know which one it is.
There's no way the conference and the music venue look. Which place resembled?
Did the conference room look like the music venue? Or did the music venue look like the conference room?
Or did they make some kind of set?
Really?
Damn it!
There's no way the conference room and the music venue look the same.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue?
Damn it!
Okay, so it's not those.
There's no way the conference room and the music venue look the same.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue? Or did the music venue look like the conference room?
Or did they make some kind of set?
They might have tampered with the camera.
I still can't believe he mixed up the filming locations. Hajime, you're pretty stupid.
Bounced off the noise. No, I wouldn't have reacted. The other way around? It can't be a memory one, because you can only use the memory on...
And the music venue look the same.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue? Or did the music venue look like the conference room?
That must be it! What the killer did was make the music venue, the crime scene, look like the conference room. They did that by using the black curtain hanging at the back of the stage.
I mean, personally, I think either of those statements. But fine, sure.
From what I remember, there used to be a really flashy curtain, but after the incident, it somehow became a plain black curtain that didn't seem to be the right size.
That's right! It's so half-assed, just like Monami.
Oh yeah? Well, your face looks stupid!
That curtain was hung so the music venue would look like a conference room? In actuality, even though the curtain in the conference room doesn't stand out, it is a black light-blocking curtain that's long enough to reach the floor.
I see. The conference room. Indeed, the floor of that room is the same color as the music venue stage. So the killer chose the conference room because they realized the floor matched.
Matching floors, matching curtains. I guess it makes sense you'd mistake the two.
But that's not all. There should be something else the killer did to tamper with the evidence. Probably.
Something else the killer did to make the music venue look like a conference room. Candle.
I can prove it with this! You're referring to the candle in the music video, right? In the video I saw, a candle was used for lighting. And if you think about it, it's pretty strange. The music venue has good lighting, so there's no reason to even use candlelight.
But wouldn't they have done it to make it feel creepier?
That might have been another reason, but the main reason was probably to tamper with evidence. The lighting in the conference room and the music venue are so different. They couldn't be used during filming. That's why the killer used a candle as film lighting instead.
Which means... Are you saying the candle in the music venue wasn't actually used?
That candle was likely placed there just to make me think it was the same candle that was used in the video.
With candlelight, you can't see things in that much detail. Maybe they were going for that effect. With that cheap-ass camera, it won't capture much in a dark area.
As long as this all matches up, it should be no problem to say this is decided. The video I saw wasn't filmed at the music venue. It was actually filmed at the hospital conference room.
If I'd found proof that evidence in the conference room was altered, we would have reached an answer sooner. But it appears the killer already covered that up, so I didn't find anything when I went there.
But there's no mistake. That's the only place within the connection range of the surveillance camera.
The motel would have been too far, and the interior design of the movie theater is too distinctive.
But this must be a surprising turn of events for Hajime. You never suspected that the video you saw in the hospital was being filmed in the conference room.
No, I kinda did. But okay.
The incident isn't happening at the scene of a crime. It's occurring in the conference room.
No, incident already occurred. I feel like I've heard Bayside cops say that before, but isn't it the other way around?
If Ibuki's hanging video was filmed at the hospital's conference room, then was Ibuki killed at the conference room too?
No.
No, that's not possible. Right after Hajime saw that video, he discovered Ibuki's body at the music venue.
Also, if we agree that the killer was killing Ibuki and then Hiyoko stumbled in, there's no reason why, or even if setting up the crime scene. The video was filmed at the conference room, but Ibuki's body was at the music venue, which means there was a fake somewhere. The fake must have been...
I see! The person wearing the hint bag in that video wasn't Ibuki. It was the killer pretending to be Ibuki. The killer put on a hospital gown, wore a hint bag on their head, and was only pretending to be the victim.
So this will be the part where people are like, but there's only one hint bag, and then we'll be like, but no, secretly, there's two.
By that time, the real Ibuki must have already been killed.
The actual time of death must have been earlier. Probably around midnight or dawn to avoid witnesses.
If they took Ibuki from the music venue to the hospital to kill her, there's no way it happened during the day.
So, that's what happened. Then no matter how quickly I ran, it was impossible for me to rescue Ibuki. At that moment, I was already in the killer's trap. And the one who set up a trap for me was...
But why did the killer go to the trouble of making a fake video just so Hajime could go to the crime scene?
The reason the killer made a fake video... There's only one possibility I can think of. And if I examine that possibility thoroughly, then naturally the killer's identity will reveal itself.
Huh?
You fiend! Are you saying you already know who the killer is?
That's right. I should already know. I should have already known who the killer is.
You're the only one! Miko, you're the killer, aren't you?
What are you talking about?
Like I said, aren't you the killer who murdered Ibuki and Hiyoko?
Killer? Huh? I'm the killer? What is this?
Hey, don't you think that's kinda impossible? A chick like her as the killer? She couldn't even kill a fly. In fact, the fly would probably kill her first.
She's right! A clumsy slowpoke like me killing someone? That's completely out of the question!
But we're the only ones. Thanks to that video, we're the only ones who have the advantage of an alibi.
An alibi? Was that the killer's goal?
Now that you mention it, you guys brought that up earlier. Only Hajime and Nikon have an alibi.
It's just a coincidence!
But you're the only one who could have filmed that video in the hospital conference room. Is that also a coincidence?
Shouldn't you get some rest already? You should be exhausted from nursing without any sleep, right? Oh, then if you insist, I'll use the on-call room upstairs. You must be pretty mentally exhausted. It's better if you relax in the lobby instead.
At that time, you said you were going to the on-call room, but you actually went to the conference room. That's when you put on a hospital gown that you prepared in advance, put the bag on your head, and began filming. By doing that, you made up a video that showed Ibuki trying to hang herself at the music video. And showed that to me. Furthermore, I saw that video at the hospital lobby. If someone wants to go to the conference room from outside, they have to pass through the lobby.
So it's impossible that someone who wasn't already in the hospital went to the conference room to film.
Not only that, the others in the hospital, Akane and I, were both delirious from the despair disease.
So that must mean...
Please, wait a second! What are you saying? I'm the killer? That's impossible! There's no way I can kill someone!
It's not literally impossible. Can't you give a better defense than that?
It just shows she can't even do that.
Hey, you sure this chick is really the killer?
Wrong! It's totally wrong! It's not what you think!
Just like Akane said, it is really hard to tie it all together. I mean, Mikan is the killer?
I agree. It is truly difficult to believe someone could be killed by such a slow-witted woman.
That slow-witted remark is not necessary.
It's fine. I've been like this for a long time. In a tournament for social punching bags, I'd easily win first place with my soft reputation. Even I can't deny that. How many times do I have to tell you? It's impossible for me to kill someone. I'm serious. Very serious.
What do you say, Hajime?
Do you still believe this woman is the killer?
Do you?
Hey, Hajime!
Everyone's ganging up on me. Tricks aside, logic aside, is she really capable of doing something like this? Could it be I'm the one making a mistake? No. In fact, it'd be so much easier if I was wrong. If I have this much doubt about someone I've spent so much time with.
Can you hold on a minute?
Huh?
Well, I know I'm being intrusive and all, and I mean, I have no place to say this. I missed all of the critical parts, and I doubt I have anything worth saying at an important time like this.
What are you saying?
But still, there's definitely no way I can overlook the killer this time.
Huh?
I thought it was suspicious all along, from the very beginning. Investigating with the suspect in mind creates a different result than investigating with no leads.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
Well, thanks to that, I was able to discover a truth that nobody else knows.
Are you serious?
I've been so focused on everybody else in this trial. But I guess now's a good time to say it, right?
You better not have kept quiet on purpose. This isn't a game, you know.
Actually, this is a game.
Please don't say such controversial statements. Well, what do you know, Nagito?
Well, it's nothing big, really. Only a small, decisive clue that points to the killer.
Dang, that's a huge deal!
A decisive clue. Does something like that really exist?
Let's take a look, shall we? Regarding the rope Ibuki was dangling from.
Oh, right. That was a piece of something I picked up.
This rope was supplied by the supermarket, right? There weren't any ropes inside the music venue.
Which, personally, I think it's just weird, but okay.
Again with the supermarket? That place is a hotspot for criminal goods.
If they got it at the supermarket, that means it was brand new, right?
What's wrong with that?
I want you to take a close look at this rope. And keep in mind that it's brand new. Near the middle of the rope, it's frayed, as if it was rubbed strongly. But why is it like this? The loop Ibuki used to hang herself is on one end of the rope, and the part of the rope that hung from the baton lighting is on the other end.
Hey, you're taking too long. What's wrong with the rope being frayed?
It means, well, From what I can infer, I think the rope was used like this. The killer wrapped the rope around Ibuki's neck, pulled both ends at full strength, and strangled her. The center of the rope is frayed because that's the part they used to strangle Ibuki.
Okay.
Don, I've been listening to you for a while, and it sounds like you knew about this rope clue all along. What exactly did you say to me during the investigation?
So this rope won't be much of a clue. Then I might as well search another place.
Not everyone cooperates at a class trial. Those who lie and conceal the truth will obviously be here too. Just like this case's killer. I was just copying them a little bit.
Alright.
More importantly, what was all that about the rope? The killer strangled Ibuki. And then?
And then, I finished speaking.
So...
How is that a decisive clue?
Huh? You didn't notice it? I thought I made the decisive clue very clear.
Nagato's words contain a decisive clue. Is that really true? Well, we're about to get into it, so I guess.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame.
I don't know if it's actually crushed windpipe as a result of choking. Yeah, I am wondering if it is a memory thing this time around. But do I have a...
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie? The body of the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame.
Ibuki didn't die.
Die from hanging. She was strangled to death. That's basically the same. Though hanging and strangling, the scars they leave would look different. Scars? You mean the... But we believed it was from a... Why would that
be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
That must be it! That's what happened. We've been falling for the killer's lie this whole time.
Something I want to ask you. Yeah, she had no external injuries, so there's no doubt she died from hanging herself. I see.
You said Ibuki hanged herself, but that was a complete lie, wasn't it, Mikan?
That is... well...
You told us the wrong cause of death. You lied, didn't you?
You should have been able to tell the difference between hanging and strangling just by looking. You, Mikan, the ultimate nurse.
Please wait! First of all, I'm not a coroner, so I don't have the medical knowledge to identify injuries like that. That's why it's not my fault if I made a mistake.
You are right. And you have been a great help to us so far.
But even a drunk medical student can notice the difference between a hanging and strangulation.
I'm not taking her side or anything, but being clumsy and unskilled in this area could lead to a mistake.
He's totally right. I'm such a clumsy mess, and I got so careless.
Mikan nursed me till I got better. There's no way I'm gonna doubt her.
Don't you think her devotion to nursing is what helped her draw Ibuki to her death?
Huh?
And if not, her symptoms were still very serious and caused her to believe what anybody told her. It wouldn't surprise me if she willingly followed Mikan because she was nursing her.
So Mikan volunteered to nurse us? Because she was planning to do this all along?
That's a little... Aren't you like the thief who suspects everyone else of being thieves?
I'm not a criminal. Mikan is. I mean, she's a killer, you know.
You got it all wrong. Please forgive me.
I'm sorry, but there's no way I can forgive you. I just can't forgive this crime at all.
Forgiveness or not, we still have not decided if Mikan is the killer.
No, I'm pretty decided on it. The rest of you gotta get in line.
I see. You guys are kind. Well, if that's the choice everyone makes, then the only thing I can do is back off, I guess. But is that really okay? Is that everyone's hope?
You're friggin' annoying! If you keep talking, I'm seriously gonna beat you up!
But I'm really not the killer. There's no way I'm capable of killing someone.
Is that really true?
Stop it already! That's enough!
I can't stop. I don't want to do this either. Of course I don't want to do this. But I need to do this.
You doubt your friends?
That's not it. I suspect them because I want to believe them.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't think belief and doubt are necessarily opposites.
Huh?
I do doubt her, but I still want to believe her. Belief lies at the heart of that conflict. 'Cause if there's no room for doubt, then there's no reason to believe, is there?
Don't say deep stuff. I don't really get it.
If you want to believe in someone, you need to overcome doubt first. Belief without doubt is simply a lie.
Fine. Do whatever you want. I won't stop you anymore.
Huh? Is that all you can say? So in the end, you're all just a bunch of bullies, huh? Justifying your actions with fancy words. Making excuses for why it's not really your fault. Everyone always treats me like that. Always. It's all her fault. She's the one with the problem. I'm done with that. You
There we
hear me?
go.
I'm done.
Hey, Mikan!
It's not fair. It's not fair. 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 Why won't you forgive me? You forgive yourself right away. What did I do? Why won't
acting like this your strategy now? This is annoying. Plus, to be honest, I've run out of ideas. How can we get you to admit it? That's the issue.
If we don't have any clues, why don't we have her give us some?
Huh?
I'm the same as Hajime. I don't want to doubt any of my friends. But still, the truth is one of us murdered two of our friends. That's why we gotta stick with this until the very end, so we can finally break these chains of despair.
Chiaki.
Hey, Mikan, can I ask you one last thing? If you're not the killer, then who fabricated that video Hajime watched?
Like I said, it obviously wasn't me.
Can you prove it?
Prove it? Wait. Do you have any proof that I'm the one who fabricated that video? Ah, that's right! Show me your proof! Because you're just assuming the video was filmed at the conference room. Treating me like a killer based on an assumption. Just because I was at the hospital. That's totally crazy! I didn't do anything wrong! Why does everybody always hate me? Please, just forgive me already!
Is this broad really okay? She's emotionally unstable.
I'm not the killer! I never filmed that video!
It seems she finally started arguing for us.
Huh?
But the only one who can find the hole in her argument is you, Hajime.
Because you're main character. Got it.
So, I'm going to leave this to you once again.
Could it be? Was this Chiaki's goal all along? She's saying everyone's fate depends on me, the only person who saw that video.
Why do you get to decide I'm the killer? Where's your proof? Please, forgive me already!
Oh, right. I like PMAverse thing. We are the ones with the UI elements to be able to do it. I need to make up my mind. I'm the one who has to do it. I'm the one who's going to finish this.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to make out her body type! So please forgive me already!
Hajime, pay close attention and listen well.
This is
You're
memory
the
one.
only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
It's gotta be a memory one.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan
Clearly have different things that really are. You could tell her body type just from that camera angle, just from that dim candlelight. There's no way you'd be able to make out her body. So please forgive me already!
Hajime, pay close attention and you're the only one who
can point out the killer's mistake.
Oh, nah? feel like the killer's mistake is gonna be the thing I have to hit. Oh, other way around? Actually, now that I think about it, that makes more sense.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else who could have filmed that.
Do you have any proof? Is the handbag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had?
Ibuki and Mikon.
Is that really her? You could tell her body type under the hospital just from that camera, and just from that dim can. There's no way you'd be able to. So please forgive
Hajime, pay close attention. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
Oh. Shoot. I've totally forgot. I know I just did it, and I just totally forgot which button I'm supposed to push for memory. Back button. It's a triangle? Oh right, I just have to hold it down. Okay. I was like, I'm gonna accidentally shoot it. No, wait. Ah.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else who could have filmed that.
Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof?
Damn it!
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else who could have filmed that video.
Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikon clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle?
Where's camera angle?
Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to make out her body type! So please forgive me already!
Hajime, pay close attention and listen well. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikon clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof?
It is the camera angle.
You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle?
I'll shoot through that contradiction.
Makes sense. It's the only thing she shouldn't
Mikon,
know.
You've committed a major mistake.
Mistake?
As I said before many times, I'm the only one who saw that video.
What's wrong with that?
But I never said anything about the camera angle. So how can you say anything about the camera angle as if you saw that video yourself?
I got caught up in the hemp bag.
The only reason Mikon knew the camera angle Hajime had seen is because you're the person who actually filmed that video. Is that right?
This is your just reward. The more desperately you argue, the deeper you dig yourself into a hole. You lied, didn't you?
Are you serious? Is it true, Mikon? Did you kill Hiyoko and Ibuki?
Forgive me! Huh? I was wrong. No, That's not it at all.
That's not it?
I mean, it's impossible.
Impossible.
You know that hemp bag Ibuki was wearing when she died? Try remembering the tote bag instead. Ding! I totally remember now.
What the heck's wrong with her? She's getting weirder by the minute.
That tote bag. Isn't it the same one that girl was wearing in the video?
How do you know so much about that video?
Who cares about that?
We do.
More importantly, did you know that bag is a limited item that was sold at the movie theater? Hajime saw it too, didn't you? You remember the Usami decal on it, right? Whoopsie! Don't worry about it. I remember even if you don't. Ta-da! There's no mistake that that tote bag is a limited item. So don't you think it's impossible? Using one tote bag in both the conference room and the music venue at the same time? It's blatantly obvious that that's impossible. Don't you think? That's why that video isn't fabricated, and I'm not the killer. So you'll forgive me, right?
Taking your stubbornness this far. Such despair.
Then you're gonna forgive me? I won't stop until you forgive me!
Long time no see. Well, not really. It's time for the third panic attack action. This is probably going to be my last job during a class trial. Please humor me while I taint your ears one last time. Starting from this PTA, the reload and ammo features will be added. Ah, right. Reload. We'll no longer be able to do it with just the X button. Number of bullets. One bullet to destroy one remark. Won't be able to destroy remarks no matter how much. Square button to reload. It's like locking on, either press it marker. Controls are the same as X, match the tempo. Number of bullets released based on how we hit the tempo. Bullets will not refresh, so please be careful. Ammo will not completely refresh and will not run out during fear time. This is pretty useless. This should be all the explanations for class trials. The rest is up to you to overcome. No, I can still go. We're very close to the end. I might cut out before the comic portion. True despair. Well then, good luck, have fun.
I'll keep explaining it until you forgive me! That bag is a limited item! That's why that crime is impossible for anyone to pull off.
This chick, has she lost it for good?
Will you forgive me? You'll forgive me, right? Isn't that right? You're obviously gonna forgive me, right?
At this rate, we're not getting anywhere. I gotta do something and end this. I gotta do something so we can make her admit. Well, here we go.
You still haven't forgiven me? I'll do anything you want. Please, draw on me. Do you understand? Why only me? Please, draw on me. Can you forgive me already? Forgive me! Forgive me! Please, draw on me. Do you understand? Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you... You're done for! Forgive me! Forgive me! There's only one bag. It's impossible to use it in two places at the same time.
Prize. What? Oh man, it was theater bonus prize, wasn't it? No. Gotta Gotta get the words right.
This is... We will never get...
I'll keep explaining it to you, this food. You still haven't forgiven me? I'll do anything you want. Please, draw on me. Do you understand? Why only me? Please, draw on me. Can you forgive me already? Forgive me! Forgive me! Please, draw on me. Do you understand? Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. Can you forgive me? I'll do anything you want. You're done for! Forgive me! Forgive me! There's only one bag. It's impossible to use it in two places at the same...
This is the end! Monokuma mentioned this earlier.
Buy one bag, get another for free. It's common practice to bait customers with bonus prizes.
Whoever bought that bag should have received another one as a bonus prize. Which means it's not impossible to use that bag in two separate places. So please, just stop making desperate excuses.
Why? Why can't you forgive me? Why?
It seems her desperate struggle is finally coming to an end.
Why does everybody always hate me? You should just forgive me already!
Mikon, it's already over. After I go over your crime from the beginning and show that you have no arguments left, please just admit it already. In the end, at least let me believe in you.
Alright, we're gonna save here and call that the point in which we will go. Because we clearly just have the comic left to do, and then there'll be some after stuff, but it is 10 after 12, so I do have to get going. Thank you for hanging out. Tomorrow's stream, because I'm doing New Day Tuesday over the Loading Ready Run channel at noon, I'm going to actually start at 9:30 in the morning and potentially only go for about an hour. We'll continue to play this game because I think we should be able to finish up the rest of the trial portion at least. And then, yeah, I'll be over at the Loading Ready Run channel playing Detective Pikachu later that day. Oh, thanks, Kavina. It looks like Tanaka and also cheered. Funny. So yeah, tomorrow's stream 9:30, potentially only about an hour, and then Wednesday we'll be back to the normal 2-hour stream. I need to update that schedule. I have not done that yet, but I will before tonight. I'll also be tweeting about this. But other than that, thank you very much for hanging out, for chatting, cheering, guessing death motives, subscribing, following. It's all good. You're all great. And I'll see you later. Take care.